Hey, Josh.
Hey, how's it going?
Great, and you?
I'm doing great. Thank you guys very much for taking the time to do this interview.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, thank you for your time.
Well, I'm glad to be able to do it and be able to promote such a great up-and-coming band here. I mean, the fact that there's been such great critical acclaim for your guys' debut album with Discharge, and it's only been out a couple weeks now. It's great to see that.
Yeah, we're very happy, man. yeah, thanks, man.
Oh, not a problem. So, with that in mind, like, how did this whole band come together?
Can you hear me? Yeah, okay. Sorry, guys.
Oh, not a problem at all.
Internet issues.
Oh, yeah, it happens to the best of us. So I'm not sure if you caught that, but how did this whole band come together?
Actually, Renan and I, we know each other from our hometown. It's a small town here in our state, Paraná, here in Brazil. But when we were like, I don't know, 14 years old, something like that. And then the band is from Curitiba, it's the capital of the state here. I was living here for college, and then suddenly Renan gave me a call, and he said, "Hey, I want to go to the bigger city and have a real band, like to start doing stuff and start growing." And I say, "Hey, yeah, I'm your guy." And after that, I already knew our drummer from college. We are geologists. Yep, that happens sometimes. You're studying geology and then you're in a rock band, rock and stuff. and then we auditioned for until we find a bass player, and then we found a perfect one. It's Yuri, and after that we just started making music.
Oh, that's incredible. I mean, it's great to be able to see those connections through life, and being able to audition really did work out for the best, and just being able to find that musical chemistry to be able to create some amazing music.
Yeah, sure. Thanks, man. Yeah, I think it was pure luck, It was the band's only formation. We never played with other people like in Electric Mob. So the first day we had a rehearsal with Yuri, and then we just knew that was right. It felt right.
Oh, so with that in mind, how did you know what direction to go in musically? I mean, was that talk about the first day, or did it just come out naturally?
Totally naturally, man. We don't know what we're doing, but we're doing fine. So yeah, I mean, we love rock and roll and all those different styles of rocking, and we do what we want to do, and it really comes naturally for us. So yeah, it's pure rock and roll with a lot of different influences, and it's great.
No, we never think about let's do a song like this or like that. We just have different influences, but it's all rock and roll. So you have 60 years of rock and roll, that people already have in the world. So we have this influence because we listen to rock music all our lives. So when you put all this together, you have what we had. The direction actually is not to have direction. The only direction is like rock music.
Oh yeah, and it's great to be able to hear that authenticity that's going on with the band too. I mean, rather than trying to force a sound, and this album from start to finish sounds completely natural, and it's really for the benefit of the band and the album.
Oh, thanks, man. Yeah, something that our drummer always says, that he really likes the fact that we are being real. We're just being ourselves and not trying to, we call it plastic music, something that people can smell when it's fake. From you guys in the United States can hear that, even from Brazil. You can hear this is fake, they're not being real.
Oh yeah, totally. And I think that's always the way to go, especially when you're starting a band, is to be able to have that ideals in mind to be able to create the music that you want to be able to create. Because when you try to force a sound, it is going to come out fake, and you're going to end up resenting the music that you create as well.
Yeah, the good part's that when you do something that you really love, it's like your child. So we have 12 babies here in Discharge.
And, with that in mind, I mean, when you were practicing and making these songs, I mean, what was it like to finally go into the studio and be able to hear the recorded versions of these songs?
Yeah, we had this idea of the songs and how they should sound, but it's totally different feeling when you hear the song ready to go, So yeah, I can't explain the feeling, but I'm very proud of this record and of our performances and our performance as a group. So it's a weird feeling when you see your son, ready to go. So Yeah.
Oh yeah, I can totally imagine. I mean, every time you go into the studio, it's like there's so many things that can go right, so many things that can go wrong, and you just want to be able to create the best versions of these songs that you possibly can. And again, just from the listener standpoint, I mean, I can really tell all the detail that went into it from everyone in the band, and just knowing that it was all natural, and no matter how heavy it gets, no matter how groovy it gets, fast, slow, whatever the case is, it really feels like every song is meant to be the way that it is.
Yeah, thanks a lot. But I think we it's a cheesy thing to say, but we don't like to label ourselves. So we don't have this kind of thing. We're just a hard rock band, or we're just a heavy metal band. No, we are a rock and roll band, and we do what we want to do. So we don't have these limits for the sound, So sometimes we want to just sound like a heavy groovy band from the 90s, and without thinking about it. So it just happens, and we are very happy that we have this identity, that strong identity that defines us as a different kind of rock band,
Oh, for sure. And again, that really goes along with everything with authenticity. I mean, the fact that you didn't write 12 of the same song over and over on the album, I mean, that would have been so stale to be able to hear that. And just being able to hear all these different sides, and, just knowing this is the debut album, I'm excited to see what's going to be coming up in the future for future releases, because if this is what you guys are doing the first time around, I can't wait to see what's going to be going forward.
Yeah, I'm excited too, and afraid of what's coming next. But I mean, we did this record totally by ourselves, with our style of rocking, and I'm sure it's gonna be a blast on a second album too. So we keep the recipe to ourselves, and we won't tell you the secret of Electric Mob because we don't know it too. So we're gonna keep doing what we are doing, because it's going fine. It's doing well, and people are receiving our record very well. So we're very happy.
Yeah.
When we were in the process of writing it, we had a deadline with the label. So something that happens is we had to force ourselves to stop writing, because we had enough. And we need to now record it and do the pre-production, and after recording the demos and then actually recording it. So if we just start writing again, we would start from the same point where we stopped.
And what was that like? I mean, obviously, you've written even more for the band, when you were doing the process of making this debut album. I mean, what was it like to have to cut some songs from the album?
Yeah, it's like I said, it's like 12 babies, but we have other babies that it's hard for a parent to cut out their son. but I'm sorry, I'm hearing this noise. Can you guys hear me?
Oh, I can still hear you.
I'm hearing you. Yeah.
Okay, sorry. It's we had I think 4 or 5 songs that can easily got into Discharge too, which is something that we thought this song, this space is already filled up in the album, so we don't have to have 2 or 3 of the same stuff or the same sound here. So we already have some stuff ready to go for a second album, and we really like those songs too. So we are pretty excited for the second one, but just enjoying the reaction we are having from Discharge.
Yeah, and I think the good side of it is that we have a bunch of good songs, and we have to let some good ones go so we can use them in the second album. So that's great, actually.
Oh, it totally does, and it shows that the power of the band is still going there too. I mean, the fact that you had that much inspiration and creativity to write even more than an album's worth of music, and be able to focus on those songs and know where you want to go with the next record already. I mean, that's so cool to see that already.
Yeah, it's for us it's cool, because if you think in some way can be less job to do do, in the next album. But it's something that like it just came like we said, the album came naturally. We were just writing music, like four guys writing music, putting our influences in the guitar or vocals or drums or the bass, and we want to just keep doing this, and let's hope for the better for the second album.
Oh, very much so. And, with that in mind, I mean, obviously with being able to have such natural authenticity behind this album, I imagine it can be a little scary to see how it's going to be received by the public. And it's great to see that there's so much critical acclaim that's going on for the album. What was it like to be able to get those initial reviews and see what people thought of what you guys created?
Oh, man, it's awesome to see that we were right when we were writing those songs, because I don't see Electric Mob as a common frontiers act, so we were very afraid of how this album was gonna be, and it's awesome to hear that people are digging our sound and our way of rocking. So I couldn't be happier, because the album came right from our hearts, and it's a very cheesy line, but it's totally true, man. So we are very, very, very happy of all the reviews that are coming from us and for us, and that's awesome.
Yeah, and thinking about that as well, too, I mean, the fact that Frontiers was so interested in what you guys created, they wanted to be able to sign you. I mean, just like you mentioned, it's like Electric Mob is very different than a lot of the bands on the label. I mean, there's a lot of power metal, there's a lot of AOR that's going on, a lot of classic rock, and it's great to be able to have something that has like this great modern but throwback sound that you guys do, because, again, with all those different influences, it feels like you could pull people in from all different directions and be able to find something to really enjoy in your sound.
Yeah, man. Kudos to Frontiers for believing in us. And we're just doing our jobs, and we're very proud of our jobs and very happy to make a living of our dreams, and Ben can complement what I'm saying, but that's it.
Yeah, like about being a different act in the label, like being all this sort of more modern kind of hard rock, but like also, we have our own influences. Like we have our influence from 70s, from 80s. So people who dig this kind of music, like, I just like rock music from the 70s. He can find that on us. And I think not being so frontiers oriented, like being the classical frontiers band is something that Frontiers want to do now. Like, I know that they are really looking for new bands to sign and like to start building up the rock and roll market for the next few years. Like they want to really have those new discoveries, and like they're really proud that they are doing this kind of thing. And like, for us was an opportunity to show us to the world. So we're really, really, really thankful for what Frontiers want to do with us.
Oh, that's so cool. And with that as well, too, I mean, the fact that you got a label like Frontiers behind you to be able to support this album and get your guys' names out there, it's great to be able to see that it works so well when it came into the music videos as well, too. I love what you guys have done when it comes to that visuals, and it's really cool to see the concept that you guys created to be able to show these off in music video form.
Oh, thanks, man. Like, the first one, Devil You Know, it's more like a rocker, standard, like, ugly faces and like, yeah, we are rockers. And then in the second one, we're just being ourselves, like, we're just four stupid guys. And we try to show this to people sometimes. And I'm really, really glad you like it, man.
Oh, yeah, totally. And it shows the different sides of your personality, just like you were talking about, just the fact that you do have like a heavier rocker song with like Devil You Know, and then you're able to change it up with the next single, and then, just being able to show all these different sides. And, it's great to be able to see that it did capture a lot of people's interests, and a lot of people are digging what you guys do. And then when they check out the whole album, they see all these different sides of you. I mean, absolutely mission accomplished with that. And again, just being natural and being yourselves, it really has paid off.
Thanks, man. These are kind words for us, man.
Totally. Yeah, man. I think rock and roll is missing that naturality, because all of those bands, they all wear black and they all got those big hairs and ugly faces, and we don't. We like to do what we want to do. We like to sound the way we want to sound, and during these difficult times, we need to show some how can I say that, to wear a smile, and beside all those crazy shit that's happening right now, and it's nice to have a like upside down video that's a totally messed up video with us being just ourselves, and I think we need more of these in rock music.
Oh, I absolutely couldn't agree more. And I guess that answers my next question, whether you guys are going to be wearing corpse paints when you guys go on tour. Oh, but seriously though, it's just like, again, the fact that you guys are still able to enjoy everything that's going on with the band, and there's so much to look forward to as well when things start to get back to some kind of normalcy and you're able to start playing live shows again and being able to tour, because these songs definitely deserve that live attention as well.
Yeah, that's our main goal. Like after the pandemic, would be like tour as much as we can until we get tired of touring, and then we rest doing another tour. So, we are experiencing something that we didn't actually had yet. We never had an album out like any time in our lives. But we consider ourselves a live band, so we did a lot of gigs. So it makes me really excited about the future, because if people are liking the music just to listening to it, I'm pretty sure that they will like it live, because we consider ourselves a live band. Like we always thought about being a band that you don't want to just listen. You need to pay attention and enjoy the concert and enjoy the show. And we always think of us like that, and we're really excited and looking forward to play live.
Yeah, totally. I mean, we are 4 crazy motherfuckers on stage, and people need to see that.
Oh yeah, and it's just like I've gotten those vibes. I mean, especially from other videos. I mean, the fact that you can see how much fun that you guys are having, and it's just like all of this is so real. So when you do get into that natural habitat of being able to be on a stage and being able to play in front of the crowds, I just imagine how wild and fun the shows can really be, and especially with not being able to play shows for so long, I just imagine that's going to be amped up even more when you finally get back on stage.
Totally, man, totally. I mean, we're living the dream, so there's no way you couldn't have fun with it, So, I mean, I remember myself discovering my dad's vinyls and, thinking how could I be one of those guys, I mean, I love Slayer and I wish I could be Tom Araya, and now it's time for us to charge our batteries and get ready to hit the road as soon as possible. So yeah, I'm dying for people to see how we do our shit live. So yeah, it's gonna be a great deal.
So just to make sure, I mean, you're confirming 1 set of original music, a 2nd set of Slayer tribute act as well, to be able to perform that Tom Araya.
That would be awesome, man.
That'd be great to be able to hear like Electric Mob, and then hearing that you're going to be doing a 2nd set and it's just like full-blown Slayer, like doing all of Rain and Blood.
Yeah, but I think the only song we could perform live as a 4-piece band would be Seasons in the Abyss, because it's the slower song of Slayer.
It does have a lot of groove to it.
There's no way we could perform, Angel of Death,
Yeah, actually, it's something that's really, really cool about us. It's like, Renan is a metalhead, and like he even likes the soul and blues stuff from like the early things. It's all about Etta James and I don't know. He likes a lot of Ray Charles too, and you have all this influence. Like I'm really fan of Eric Clapton, but but also Harry Styles. So that's something that we really try to apply in our music in our way. Like, actually always thinking the heaviest way we can do it, but like you maybe can feel a little bit of Harry Styles and Jessie J in our songs, but like you also can feel a little bit of Slayer sometimes. I don't know the other heavy bands you like, man. And it's all about the heavy stuff.
Yes.
Oh yeah, and again, that's what I love so much about hearing this album and being able to talk to you guys, because I hear those different influences and just how excited you are to be able to talk about how you don't just listen to the same music. You don't listen to music that sounds just like what you're creating. You're able to enjoy so many different styles, and even if they don't show up in a song or an album or even in the band, you're still able to find some kind of influence and being able to continue being yourselves and getting so many different ideas, whether it's just being enjoyment or production or songwriting ideas. There's so much to enjoy outside of what you normally listen to or what a lot of people think you should normally listen to.
Thanks, man. I think you got it.
Except like there's bad music and there's good music. Like you're always gonna find bad music in any style you want. Like even in rock and roll, you have like I said, plastic music, like something that is not real. And sometimes you can find real music, like it's something that coming from people's heart, like even in pop music or in any style you want. So even if it's not for the heavy guitars and drums, sometimes you have these influences like the chorus, like how the melody is gonna be, and like the approach you're gonna have, like to open up some chorus or make it feel sometimes brighter or darker. You can have it all from different influences, not from rock and roll, like even from pop music one.
Yeah, and thinking about production, pop music was a huge influence in a lot of aspects, like effects and a lot of production things that pop music does, and we like to do it in a rock album. So like Ben said, Harry Styles was a huge influence in production terms and also in the way of writing a song and how to push people and how to bother people with a melody. And that's great about pop music. And like you said, we don't listen only to rock and roll, and like Ben said too, there's good music and bad music. So we're all about the good shit.
And definitely bringing this all the way back around again to the beginning, that's exactly what I think of Electric Mob. It is just such good music from start to finish, being able to see what you guys have done with this album, everything to look forward to in the future. No matter what direction you go into, whether you do eventually become a Slayer tribute act or being able to perform some Harry Styles covers, there's so many different directions that you can go into, but the fact that you guys are going to continue to be yourselves and be able to create such great music that's from the heart. I can't wait to see where everything goes next. And again, I thank you guys very much for taking the time to be able to talk to me about all of it. And of course, the debut album on Frontiers Music, Discharge, available now. I love it, and I hope everyone else goes out and checks it out because you guys absolutely deserve it.
Thank you a lot, Josh. We really appreciate it, man. Thank you for your time, and sorry about our bad English. And yeah.